Joining us on the Western Hotline is a man who has had a great career himself in professional sports and is now part owner of the Buffalo Bills, and will be announcing one of the fourth-round draft picks. Jozy Altidore is on the Western Hotline. Jozy, good morning. It's Jeremy and Joe.
Jeremy and Joe, good morning, guys. Thanks for having me.
Have they told you which fourth-round pick? The Bills have a couple there, so you got to get in there somewhere.
Yeah, we'll see. The draft's always there's a lot going on, right? So anything can happen. So we'll see how things go over the next couple of days, but we're very excited to welcome a couple of new team members.
Yeah, you said, I saw a quote from you that the idea of being part of the Bills, part of an ownership group to purchase stake in the Bills was like a dream come true for you. How did it all come together, come to be, and what's it been like since?
Yeah, so, I played very close to Buffalo for a number of years, about, 7-8 years in Toronto. And, I was a football fan before, but I got a chance to watch almost all the Buffalo Bill games over the last 7-8 years. And it's been a crazy ride. And to see the fandom, the support, the proximity in terms of the following they have in Toronto, it was really easy to be a fan of the team, even from Canada. So, really excited at this opportunity. It's come full circle for me, and just really excited about being a part of such a great fan base and a great organization.
You mentioned you were already a football fan. Did you have a team before you got to Toronto and started following the Bills more?
I grew up in South Florida, so, I went through what people go through supporting the Dolphins for time. But, I'm in a different place. I'm in a great place now. And, like I said, it's been an honor to follow this team the last 6-7 years and now be a part of it. It's incredible.
Do you have friends back there that are still Dolphins fans? Because if so, it is a good time to be a Bills fan in the life of a Dolphins fan.
Listen, I'm slowly converting everybody I know in South Florida to Buffalo Blue, baby. So all my friends and family are Bills fans, and that's how it's going to stay.
Yeah, you mentioned, so you played in Toronto for years, and the footprint that the Bills kind of have there already, and you and Tracy McGrady, Vince Carter jumping in. I don't know that this had to be, maybe it isn't different at all. You could tell me about what maybe the Bills' footprint in Toronto means to you guys and to you personally, or if it's just kind of keep going as it is.
No, it's massive. Obviously the three of us were very lucky enough to build, great brands in Toronto, and to now have the opportunity, with the Bills to bring the brand even more so in Toronto. Obviously the Buffalo Bills Mafia, they don't need us to do that, which with one of the largest fan bases, but we're very excited to take part in that process and really make this Canada's team and all of the Northeast team.
Jozy, how many games have you had a chance to come to? You got future plans for that? Like, how often do you envision being around?
Listen, I plan to be around. I hope you guys don't get sick of me, but I plan to be around quite a bit. I'm really excited for this season, as I'm sure a lot of fans are, with how last season ended. We got a motivated group, the best quarterback in the National Football League. So, I'm really excited to be there, be on the ground, support the boys, and do what I can behind the scenes to make sure we're all pulling in the right direction.
I'm sure you guys would have met Josh Allen by now.
I'm sorry?
Have you guys met Josh Allen by now?
Yes, we got a chance to meet the GOAT, and he's doing well, and it's an honor for us to be able to have a quarterback like that who loves the organization as much as he does, who wants to win, and he's dedicated to that over the next number of years. So we're excited to be working with him.
Yeah, I don't know that you guys were given, like, I'm thinking of like when draft picks get announced and they'll have a jersey with their number on it. Did that happen for you guys? Because you wore 17. You wore 17 for the U.S. So I don't know if you asked for that, if they would even Allen on 17 would obviously be the one they wouldn't want to be tricky with.
Yeah, so for me, I was actually drafted 17th overall. So that's why I went with that number my whole career. It had a lot of symbolism for me. So, yeah, tonight we'll see what happens. But like I said, draft day, a lot of things happen. It's a time where teams are really trying to think about the season ahead. So, we'll put our best foot forward and welcome some members to the team that I'm sure are going to help us a bunch.
Jozy Altidore joining us on the Western Hotline, talking a little bit about the Bills draft. He'll be announcing one of the fourth-round picks the Bills have. Jozy, do you think there's any sort of, advantage to a relationship where part of the ownership group now that you're a part of, a lot of former players and guys that have played on big stages and, of course, had whether it's a big brand or big personality or a lot of people paying attention to them. Do you think there's an advantage to that in the way that you're able to maybe relate to current players?
I think so. I think, especially when you look at some of the things where, I know there are places where we can improve. When you look at some of the things the players value and the players look to help prepare themselves, right? Maybe these are aspects where, we can do a better job communicating with them and improving on that. And that's the entire league. So that's definitely something that we feel like we bring to the table and one of the things we'd like to offer expertise on, for sure.
By the way, how deep into contingency plans do they get with you, or is it more loose? Because I don't think the Bills would trade out of the fourth round entirely. It feels like that would be hard to do. But have they talked about what would happen if they move around the board and whatnot?
It's funny you ask that. Terry Pagula and the entire organization has been so welcoming and included us in almost everything going on at a high level. So it's been an incredible honor, incredible learning experience. I am not going to talk about anything of what's to come because I don't think that'd be right. But what I will say is that we're incredibly excited for this weekend, and these kids that are going to join the organization, I'm 100% certain are going to put their best foot forward.
Jozy, how much are you paying attention to? You're a big football fan. How much are you paying attention still to the world of soccer, whichever league, whichever format it might be, whether it's Team USA or Premier League or Champions League? Are you a big fan there still?
Yeah, Team USA, of course. Obviously, played for that team for a number of years. We're gearing up for the biggest, World Cup in a long time here at home. So there's a lot of expectation on the team. A lot of things going on. And, I'm still following them, trying to bring them out to the Highmark Stadium, our new stadium next year. It'd be great to have the national team playing there. But of course, following them, cheering them on. And I have big expectations for them this, coming next summer. I think they're going to really capture the minds of the fans and hopefully put their best foot forward as well.
Do you have a favorite moment looking back on your career, even if that's the national team? I mean, you've played in the World Cup. I remember you scoring against Spain in the Confederations Cup. I don't know if you would put that number one, but that's the first goal I think of for you.
Yeah, moments like that. It's hard to pick one, but moments like that where, years and years, you have people stop you and say, hey, remember this goal, or, this happened, and you helped me get through that time. That's been the best part for me is, having people stop you and talk about how, different moments or games affected their lives. And that's been a blessing, man. I never thought of it in that aspect. But I would say, anything that I did representing the country is a huge honor and one I took very serious. So. Yeah. I would say all things USA.
Do you feel like the landscape of the sport here has, I think no one would dispute that it has grown, but to what extent it's grown, maybe since the beginnings of your career to now? We're getting a USL team here locally, so that's just, I think, starting here locally in Buffalo. So that's been happening all around the country. There's more teams than ever. How dramatic do you think the difference really is over the last 10, 15 years?
I mean, I think it's pretty massive. I think when you look at, for example, leagues like the USL, who have done a really good job finding, markets that aren't MLS markets, that are smaller markets to kind of grow in and grow the game. And then you look at MLS and what they've done with most of the bigger markets and, bringing Messi in. I think you can't compare soccer, to when I started to this today. It's miles and miles ahead. I'm super excited for what's to come.
Very good. Jozy Altidore on the Western Hotline. Jozy, thanks for the time, and best of luck with that fourth-round pick and for a successful weekend for the Bills.
Appreciate it, man. Really excited, and go Bills, and be safe to all the fans watching the draft this weekend.
All right, very good. Jozy Altidore, part of the ownership group to buy a stake in the Bills this year and announcing the fourth-round pick, which will be Saturday.